Hi guys, welcome back to Casually Crafted. My name is Ashley and this is Crafty Chat number 76, I think. 86. I think it's 86. I just looked a minute ago and now I can't remember. Anyway, so once again, it's been a long time since my last video. November and December got really busy with craft fairs, which I will talk about a little bit. And then January is usually my calm down month. Like I usually have a lot of time to get started on projects that I want to work on, or I work on like decluttering and cleaning the house more. And this month that just did not happen. Hence this video never happened either. Normally I'd even make like a goals video and see how I did last year with my goals, and it's just, my life is just too crazy, I think. So this month I was gonna do the video once the kids got back to school after Christmas break. Then I was like, no, I'll wait for my husband to go to work. And then he went to work, and then my daughter got sick. And so she was sick for the weekend, and then my youngest, and then my oldest decided to hurt her ankle on the trampoline because even though it's winter, there's been no snow here. So they've been outside a lot. She hurt her ankle, so I took her to go get that checked out, and then that whole other week I was just playing catch up on falling behind on all the chores and everything else that just has to get done around the house. So after that, I got all my stuff ready up here in the living room because the craft room's a mess, and I was gonna do a video, and then it was the day before my husband was gonna get home from work, and then our car died. So that day was trash because I got a ride to go get a new battery, and like that one worked for a little bit, but I could tell it was gonna die. And then he got home the next day and the car was in the shop all weekend, and now it is Thursday. We got the car back on Tuesday, and he's subbing at one of the local middle schools, I believe, today. So I have the house to myself for a minute while all the kids are at school. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna finally get this video started. So sorry if that was too much information about why my life is crazy. I don't know why this stuff just keeps happening to me, but I need to be better at just doing a video, even if I don't feel like I have much to show for it. I think that's half my problem, is I want to like have a bunch of stuff to show you, and I don't always have a bunch of stuff. So to start, let's talk about the craft fairs a little bit. I didn't, I did after the craft fairs. I wrote out like what sold best and what didn't sell and all that. But so the first one was the weekend before Thanksgiving. It was like a holiday themed one run by the City Chamber of Commerce, where I live. And that one is really popular. I did really good at it. I sold a lot of animals, just like the little, amigurumi whatevers. And I sold a bunch of my trees on little stands. I don't know if I ever showed you those, so I'll post a picture of some of those. And I forgot to take a picture of the craft fair, so my bad. But yeah, I did pretty well at that, and but then I had another craft fair 2 weeks after. So then the next week was Thanksgiving week, and then the week after I was gonna have one, another 2-day one at the local senior center here. So over Christmas or Thanksgiving break, I'm frantically making stuff, and I got some stuff done. I remade some of the things I sold, and then at the first one, I had made all of my like Christmas or winter themed little stuffed animals. I put them in little like gift bags, like mystery bags, and I didn't sell a single one. So I was like, I'm not gonna worry about it. So I decided to take them out of the mystery bags, because I tried to have like an example of like, this is what you could get in a mystery bag, but still nobody bought one. So for the second craft fair, I just took them out of the mystery bags and just sold them as is, so that I'd have less stuff to make. And I never had done either of these craft fairs to know how well they would do and what kind of audience I would have. So the second craft fair, like I said, was at a senior center. Not one where they like live there, but like where seniors come and do stuff. So the way it was set up is they have all these different rooms. They have like, there's a cafeteria, they have like a library and a game room and an exercise room. And when we signed up, we got to pick which room we wanted to be in. I only knew one room to not pick because somebody else I know who crochets always does it and does a certain room. So she told me to like not be in the same room as her, because we sell some things that overlap, other things that don't. But just to not have two crochet people in the same little room. So my friend and I, who she did it next to me, we signed up for a random room, not ever having been there, and it ended up being one of the furthest rooms down the hallway. I think there was maybe one more down the hallway on the left, and we were like the last one on the right. So it was a little slow, and the funny thing is the first night, the Friday night, is I sold almost all of my kitchen scrubbies. Like I had hardly any left. And so that night I went home and made a bunch more, or however many more I could. And then the next day I think I sold one. So it was like definitely a different like demographic of who came on Friday night and who came throughout the day on Saturday. I did not do as well at that one, and I don't know if it was because of where we were in the place, like in the room, or if it's just a slower market in general. I did okay. I just don't know if I would do it again. If I had to choose one or the other, I would definitely do the first one over the second one. The weird thing is that one, almost every single person paid in cash. There was hardly any, maybe 2 or 3 that paid with Venmo, which is probably what I do mostly is Venmo. And then it's maybe half and half Venmo and cash, but this time it was like 90% cash, and it was very weird for me. So, but yeah, I think that is everything about that. I just dropped my paper. Hold on. Oh, also, I made a lot of snowflakes this year, and I had some left over from like a few years ago when I made a bunch, and I sold one single snowflake throughout both fairs. I had them in sets of 6, and then I had some single ones, and I only sold one. So that was kind of sad, because I really like the snowflakes, but I guess maybe people here don't like snow that much because it usually sucks when it snows. So I don't know. I think they're pretty and I like them, but I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Both of them we had to give like a door prize, or the first one was a door prize, the second one was like a raffle ticket type one. So for the raffle ticket one, I did give a set of snowflakes because I knew I didn't sell any at the first one. And then the first one that had the door prize was a set of 3 trees. So that is the craft fairs. I'm kind of glad those are over, but there's sometimes one in the spring that I do, so we'll see if I get to do that. So as far as finished objects goes, I just have a few to show you. They're mostly the Christmas gifts for my kids. So we'll do this one first here. This is a little otter that my 12-year-old requested I make for her. She found it on Pinterest and asked me to make. It was kind of a pain in the butt, and some of it I'm not sure, like his nose, like mouth, nose, whatever this is area, the pattern just seemed a little, I don't know how to explain it, weird. This fishing pole, it can come out and it's just like yarn wrapped around a pipe cleaner, so it's kind of weird. And I was in kind of a hurry because, yeah, I was busy with craft fairs. So, I mean, overall, he turned out cute. The hat was a little wonky, but she thinks he's really cute, so he just sits on her little dresser area. And, yeah, I'll post the link to the pattern down below where we found it. But, I don't know. See, there's fuzzies coming off. A lot more pieces than I generally prefer to deal with, especially with the plushy type yarn. The second one is I finally finished she's now 5, her temperature blanket for, it's like her birth to her first year. It's very big. I don't even know which side, I think, yeah, this side is the start. And I've talked about this before in other videos, so I'm not going to go through like all the details. But basically it's each row is 2 days. That's why there's like a split in the middle. So we'll just keep going. There's the summer. And then there's back to November. So it didn't get quite as cold that time. So yeah, since last time I showed it, I just had a bunch of ends to weave in, and so that's what I did. I weaved in a million ends, and she was very excited to get it, but I haven't really let her use it much right now because we're trying to night potty train and I don't want her making that messy. So it's been like off to the side for a little bit. And then I did, for my 8-year-old, I made her a little axolotl and a snake. At the fair I did in the spring, there was a snake she really wanted and I sold it. So I told her I'd eventually make her one that was the same color. And I think they're on her bed. I couldn't find them. So, oh well. The only other finished object I have is, while my youngest was sick, she saw this yarn sitting out in the car because I had it out for something, and she's like, can you make something out of that for me? I was like, okay, like what would you want me to make? It's not like the plushy yarn I would usually make something with. And then a few minutes later, this was before she was sick, but then she was like, you should make me a frog out of that. I was like, all right. And then I thought she'd forget about it, and then she got sick, and then so while she was sick and miserable on the couch, she was like, Mom, can you make me that frog? Okay, fine. So I just got it out and did it real quick, and I don't know where it is either, so I have a little picture that I will show you of the frog, and I'll post the pattern down below. I think I got it from Instagram. It was one I hadn't made before, and I just found it recently, so I was like, sure, we'll try this pattern. But I mean, it's hard to tell it's a frog because of the colors of the yarn, but she carried around for a few days after that, and it's probably on her bed buried in her other stuffed animals, so who knows. So now I'm going to talk about acquisitions a little bit. I did do like a Hirschner's order after one of the crafters to just get some of the colors I was low on, and then over Thanksgiving break I bought some stuff at Michael's, and then after that I had Michael's rewards, and so I ordered stuff for my mom to pick up for me from Michael's again, but I already put that all away because it's been so long. So I guess you guys don't get to see that, but for as far as I got a few things for Christmas that I can show you guys. One is right here, so I'll show you real quick. I haven't used this much yet. I've used it once. My mom got me this like automatic cordless hot glue gun, and I haven't decided how I feel about it yet, because it kept turning off on me. So you charge it and then it's cordless, and it's, I mean, I already said that, but that's kind of in the name. It's got this little carrying case with a bunch of sticks in there, but yeah, when I was using it, it kept turning off. So I don't know if it only stays on for a certain amount of time if you don't push any buttons or something. And then sometimes I would push the trigger and only like nothing would come out, and other times I'd push it and like a bunch would come out. So I need to play with it a little bit and figure out like the tricks, I guess, to how it works or doesn't work and whatever. Oh, that was loud. Then I'll show you this one next. This one was on my wish list for craft fairs. It doesn't look like a craft item, if I can get it out of its box. The little claw machine. We played with this and it does work. It comes with a bunch of these. We didn't cut them all out. That you just put in, and it gives you like 1 minute to, you know, do the claw machine. Ooh. And it came with these little animals and with some balls that you can open and put stuff in. So I'm planning on making some little things to go in here and take them to craft fairs, hopefully. There's somebody I follow on Instagram who has a pattern for what she calls critterlings, and they are little. So the smallest animals I have right now are like, I don't know, this size-ish. But they're a little bit too big to go in through the hole. So like the little turtles and whales I have, like the whales kind of fit, but the turtles are a little bit bigger. So I did buy a pack, just one pack or 2 packs of her critterlings, and I need to start working on those. There's like a bee and an elephant, and I don't think there was a duck, because she just made a duck pattern that's that size too, but it's separate. Little monkeys and dogs and cats and all sorts of little things. So I will have fun making those. And then my next thing is kind of my mind just blanked. It's an acquisition, but it also leads to a whip. That's why we're going to talk about it next. Is I got, oh goodness, it's all tangled up. I got this like I-cord knitting machine thing, and the first day, or one of the first days over Christmas break, I turned a ball of yarn into a very long thing of rope just to like play with this and figure out how it worked. And it took a minute to get it going because the instructions are not as clear as like a video. You can go on YouTube and watch a video, and that made more sense. I don't know if I'm keeping this, if I'm gonna frog it, what I'm doing with it, but it was just a red heart random skein that I had in my stash. Somewhere in here there is a little bump where I like there was a knot in the yarn and I didn't catch it. I was distracted. So I didn't catch it before it went through the knitting machine. Oh, there it is. So that's like one little mistake type spot there. Yeah, not sure what I'm going to do with that, but my reason for wanting to get these is I've seen those things you make with like the bent wire, like you could write a word or a name or other things like that. So I have recently, I purchased some templates for like stuff like that, and I got some wire to go with it. So far these are the 2 wire things I've made out of these templates, and I can post, it's like a pattern pack on Etsy. What's annoying is I haven't been able to find any like free actual patterns, whereas like crochet you can find free patterns if you're just starting out. I mean, you could just find a line drawing of something or draw it, but these tell you like where to start, so like a 1 and then 2 and then 3, 4, so you know like what order to go in, so it's all one continuous line of the wire, so that then when you wrap the cord around it, or the cord through it. Anyway, so this first one, I tried this one first because it seemed the most simple. These ones have little stands to help them stand up, hopefully, but I haven't made the I-cords for these yet. So my first attempt was this cactus, and it's very, I couldn't get these parts to stay very straight. Let me see if I have it in here. So it's supposed to look like this, and it almost does, but not exactly. And then the other one is sunflower, and this also stands up, and then you so like this part will be yellow and this part will be green, and then you make a cord out of brown and just spiral it and glue it on the top there. So not sure if I did all these bends back correctly. I mean, sometimes like I feel like there's no real good slow videos that I found on how to do it. They're just all like shorts on Instagram or YouTube that are just so fast that I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm doing that right. And then this one, I'm not sure how well it's going to stand up. I had to kind of like leaning forward a little bit because I feel like it's back heavy. Like this whole stem is on the back of this circle and it's gonna fall backwards. So once I put the yarn on it, we might have to adjust it, or I might just cut off this part and just have it be something you hang on the wall without a stand to make it stand up on the table. I don't know. So those are my experiments at the moment. I don't know why I feel like starting a new yarn hobby at this stage of my life when I'm obviously can't even do the one that I want to do. And then I forgot that I had these. I haven't tried these out yet, but this is my last Christmas present that's yarn related. And I saw somebody on Instagram using these and I thought they were cool. They're lazy readers glasses, so they have like the mirrors in them, so when you wear them you don't have to like look down while you're crocheting. You can just, so now I'm seeing my hands and the floor so I could have good posture hopefully. I have no idea what I look like in the video right now, and then still crochet. So I haven't tried these yet, like to crochet with them, because I've been in this box of things to show you guys. But for days where I'm going to be like working on something for a long time, I think it's a good idea. I didn't realize that it came with a little squeezy pouch thing. It's kind of fun. Alright, I think that's all my acquisitions. The only other whip that I have right now is, since I finished the temperature blanket for my 5-year-old, I now have to work on her name canvases, which I've talked about once before, I think. So before my first daughter was born and we knew her name ahead of time, I made this canvas, or this thing out of canvases for her name. So like they're like 8 by 10 canvases, and they spell out her name in different ways. So like one's made out of buttons, one's crocheted, which I added later because the one that I had was just like wrapped in yarn and it like wore out over time. Anyway, so it spells out her name, all 7 letters. And then so when our second daughter was born, we didn't know her name ahead of time, so I made it after we picked her name. So hers is on the wall, and Ellie, my youngest, keeps asking for her name. I'm like, I know, I need to work on it. So some of it's been done for years. So I pick like 3 colors to make them out of, and then I kind of decide like which letters are going to be which colors. Some are going to be a combination of the 3 colors. So some I've done for a while, I think I just have 3 letters left. So right now I'm working on the letter O, and I'm doing like cross stitch on this plastic canvas. It's not very pretty, but I'm not actually that worried about it. And so I'm about halfway done. So at this point I'm just kind of going back and forth on one side and then going to the other side and making it match. There are some spots where I feel like I need to like go back and add another X or whatever to make it more even, and then I might, once I cut it out, I might go around the edges somehow. I don't do much with plastic canvas to know how that works, but I think you can like go around it to like make a border kind of to cover those rough edges. So I think that's my plan. Hopefully I don't ruin it all, because this takes forever. I don't know why it takes so long. Like even just this little section took like 30 minutes one day. It's like, holy cow, this is taking forever. So some of the other letters shouldn't be so hard, but it is what it is. So that's really my only whip right now, besides someone here in town who has bought towels from me in the past. I make the towels with the topper crocheted onto it. She gave me a bag of probably 20 or so, maybe even more towels that she wants me to make, put the toppers on. And the way I make mine is I cut each actual towel in half, so it's just actually just one piece hanging down. So that means out of every towel she gave me, I have to make 2 actual towels to give back to her. So, and she gave them to me before Christmas and said I didn't have to make them, like she wasn't in a hurry for any of them specifically. I was like, well, that's good, because I did not have time. So I think right now I'm on towel number 3 or 4 as far as like the one she gave me, which is, you know, towel number 6 or so that I'm actually going to give her. And I told her, I was like, I might make them in chunks and then give them to you in chunks because I feel bad like spending a whole year making them. Like, I don't know. And my mom has some she wants me to make for her too. So I don't know when I'm going to get these in. They only take like an hour, but at the same time, I really only work on them when I'm waiting for my kids to get out of school. I don't have a lot of time, just like downtime at home to work on them for some reason. Yeah, but I also want to start working on like craft fair stuff. So it's kind of a conundrum. Speaking of, so like last year I had a spinny wheel to decide what works in like unfinished project I wanted to work on, and then I had one for each like season of just something to make that season. I mean that sort of worked until I got to like crazy town of craft fair stuff where I like skipped ahead and stopped doing fall because I knew I wasn't going to do a fall market, and I just started doing snowflakes, which obviously was a waste of time. Anyway, so I still have the spinning wheel for the unfinished objects, but I'm not going to start that until I've at least made progress on her name, because that's my focus at the moment. As far as other things, I was realizing I have a lot of paid for patterns that I have purchased that I have not made, or I've made one of, but I want to make more of. And then, so I decided to print a bunch out and put them in a little jar. And so if ever I need an idea of something to make, and some of these things would be, you know, craft fair friendly stuff. And then I also made one out of free patterns that I've saved. The same thing, like this has been saved for a while, I've never gotten around to making it. Or ones that I've made once and I wouldn't mind making again. So some of these paid ones, they were probably actually free, but they were still like PDF downloads. And so if it was a PDF, I put it in the paid one. If it's free somewhere on the internet, like Instagram or YouTube or Pinterest links to blogs or whatever, those are in here. So I have not pulled from any of these yet, mostly because I've been working on the towels and the letter O. And my life has been crazy, so there's that. I think that's everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. So, I don't know. Hopefully I have more to actually show you next time. I feel like I just have pictures of stuff because things are hidden around my house or whatever. But yeah, whenever I get something done, hopefully I can hop back on and show you something quickly, or I don't even know. My birthday is next month, so in February, so sometimes I try to make something that's like just for me during that month. So we'll see what I come up with for that. So anyway, thanks for watching this long and listening to my ramblings, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye guys.